Did Johnny Depp really lose $650 million and bounce back like it never happened? Wait till you hear what he did next. From a troubled childhood in Kentucky to owning a private island and starring in billion-dollar franchises, Johnny Depp's life in 2025 is a wild mix of pain, power, and personal rebirth. But what's driving him now? Let's find out. 1. The man behind the roles. We've all seen him as a swashbuckling pirate, a boy with scissors for hands, or a whimsical chocolate maker. But who is the man behind these unforgettable roles? Who is Johnny Depp? Really, his story begins not in Hollywood, but in Owensboro, Kentucky, where he was born, John Christopher Depp II, on June 9th, 1963. What I find truly shaping is his difficult childhood. He has openly described it as chaotic and lacking in the love he needed. It's hard to imagine that at just 11 years old, he first encountered substance use by taking his mother's nerve pills to cope with a volatile home environment. This early trauma planted the seeds for a battle that would follow him for most of his life. But what's even more surprising, and a detail most people never hear about, is his remarkable ancestry. The records show he is a direct descendant of Elizabeth Key Grinstead, who, in the 17th century, was one of the very first African Americans to successfully sue for her freedom in the North American colonies. This hidden history of resilience seems almost prophetic, a clue to the strength he would need to navigate his own future. But the question is, how did a boy from such a turbulent background escape and find his way to the silver screen? That journey is just as unconventional as the man himself. 2. An unconventional Hollywood career. How does a 16-year-old high school dropout who moved to Los Angeles to become a rock star end up as one of the biggest movie stars on the planet? It almost sounds like a movie plot itself. After his band, The Kids, found little success, it was a chance encounter that changed everything. His first wife, Lori-Ann Allison, introduced him to Nicolas Cage, who saw something special in him and urged him to try acting. That leap of faith landed him his very first role in the horror classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street. In 1984, soon after, he became a household name and a teen idol, thanks to the hit TV series 21 Jump Street. I've always admired that. Instead of embracing that easy fame, he rebelled against it, feeling creatively suffocated by the product of teen stardom. He deliberately chose to work with director Tim Burton, creating some of cinema's most beloved and eccentric characters, starting with Edward Scissorhands in 1990, a role that earned him a Golden Globe nomination. His reputation for taking on odd, challenging roles was solidified with films like What's Eating Gilbert Grape and his brilliant portrayal of the director Ed Wood. And then came the role that would define a generation of cinema, Captain Jack Sparrow. His performance in Pirates of the Caribbean was so iconic, it earned him an Academy Award nomination and turned the franchise into a global phenomenon. But what's truly fascinating is how his on-screen persona as an eccentric outsider perfectly mirrored his real-life choices, something that became even more apparent as he stepped away from the spotlight. His new life in England. So why would a man who had the entire world at his feet trade the glamour of Hollywood for the quiet, misty hills of the English countryside? The answer is simpler and more profound than you might think. Peace. In 2025, Johnny Depp resides primarily in a sprawling countryside estate in Sussex, England. Having sought refuge from the chaos of his public life, he reportedly feels at home there, seeking privacy, security, and perhaps a tribute to his late friend, the legendary guitarist Jeff Beck, who lived nearby. It's here that he has adopted a daily routine so structured it's almost unrecognizable from his rock and roll past. His day begins at 5 a.m. This isn't a rumor. It's a core part of his new, disciplined life, which includes a blend of strength training, cardio, stretching, and perhaps most importantly, meditation and mindfulness practices to find inner tranquility. His diet is just as disciplined, consisting of 6 small, well-balanced meals daily, including lean proteins like white fish and chicken breast, green vegetables, and soy products. He has largely eliminated sugar and alcohol, now preferring green tea as his drink of choice. It's an astonishing transformation. a conscious choice to build a life of health and balance, and while his daily habits have become incredibly disciplined, his iconic personal style remains as free-spirited as ever. 4. Depp's signature bohemian rock style. How does a person's fashion sense become as iconic as their filmography? For Johnny Depp, his style isn't just clothing, it's storytelling. In 2025, he continues to embody the signature bohemian rock aesthetic that has made him a fashion icon for decades. What I love about his approach is that it's rooted in masterful layering think-tailored vests worn over casual shirts, or scarves draped over distressed leather jackets to achieve that perfectly lived-in look. His wardrobe is a seamless blend of rugged masculinity and artistic flair. The key elements are timeless distressed denim, graphic tees, and plaid shirts that honor his grunge-inspired foundation. His style draws heavy inspiration from rock legends like Keith Richards and Bob Dylan, which you can see in every detail. But the real magic is in his accessories. His bold and abundant collection of sterling silver rings, antique necklaces, bandanas, and of course, his iconic hats and sunglasses are not just additions. They are essential parts of his narrative. This unique ability to transition effortlessly from an eccentric, dramatic look to a clean, classic suit is what makes him so compelling. It proves that true style is about personal expression, not following trends. This same appreciation for unique, timeless, and valuable things extends far beyond his wardrobe and into the realm of his most incredible assets. 5. A $150 million financial comeback. What does it take to lose over $600 million and then make a comeback? Johnny Depp's story is one of Hollywood's most shocking financial roller coasters. Between 2003 and 2016, Depp earned an estimated $650 million from film salaries, back-end profits, and brand deals. At his peak, he was pulling in tens of millions per film, $90 million for one Pirates of the Caribbean installment alone, but his spending was just as legendary. Reports revealed that he spent over $2 million per month on his lifestyle. $30,000 monthly went to wine. He bought an island in the Bahamas, collected rare art, owned dozens of luxury vehicles, and kept multiple multi-million-dollar homes across 3 continents. He even spent $3 million to shoot author Hunter S. Thompson's ashes from a cannon. As wild as that sounds, it was real. By the end of the 2010s, Depp was entangled in lawsuits and surrounded by claims of financial mismanagement. His fortune was all but gone. But in 2025, Depp has pulled off what many thought impossible. His net worth now sits around $150 million. His revival has been driven by calculated moves, signing a massive Dior Sauvage endorsement deal worth over $20 million, returning to select film roles with $20 million paydays, and cutting unnecessary costs. This comeback is more than a number. It's a statement of survival. But just as he rebuilt his wealth, a very public storm nearly tore it all down again. 6. Navigating scandals and personal betrayals. Johnny Depp's legal battle with Amber Heard became one of the most explosive celebrity trials in recent memory. The 2022 defamation case was broadcast worldwide, turning deeply personal matters into public spectacle. Though Depp was awarded $10 million in damages, the final settlement amounted to $1 million. The cost to his career, however, was far greater. He lost his role in the Fantastic Beasts franchise and was sidelined from any new Pirates of the Caribbean films. But the emotional toll was even deeper. In 2025, Depp opened up about how betrayed he felt by people he once trusted, saying, "There are people who did me dirty. Those people were at my kids' parties, throwing them in the air." That quote says everything. When the world turned its back, so did some of his closest friends. These betrayals weren't just personal. They reflected a larger truth about fame when things get messy. Loyalty disappears fast, but behind the headlines was a longer, more painful struggle that few truly understood. 7. His lifelong battle with addiction. Depp's battle with addiction began long before the fame. At just 11 years old, he started taking his mother's nerve pills. By 15, he had experimented with nearly every drug he could access. What started as escape from a chaotic home became a decades-long fight with alcohol. opioids, and cocaine. Courtroom testimony and medical records revealed the depths of his struggle, especially during his addiction to roxycodone, a prescription painkiller. Depp described his detox process as feeling like my insides were trying to escape my body, enduring seizures, violent shakes, and crushing depression. But in 2025, he is sober, under the care of Dr. David Kipper, and with daily meditation, therapy, and a trusted inner circle. He's turned a new page. Sobriety isn't just something Depp claims, it's something he lives. And with that clarity came something else. Generosity. 8. Depp's quiet philanthropic side. After receiving a $1 million settlement from Amber Heard, Depp didn't keep a penny. He split the money equally between 5 charities, $200,000 each, to organizations like the Make a Film Foundation, Red Feather, and the Painted Turtle. These charities serve children with medical needs and indigenous communities causes close to his heart. Beyond that, Depp has raised $800,000 for children's hospitals through his NFT art project, Never Fear Truth. He continues to support animal rescues and domestic abuse nonprofits discreetly. Unlike many celebrities, he doesn't broadcast his giving, he just gives. That quiet kindness is often overshadowed by drama, but it's real and it's consistent. Still, even with his career revived, his name cleared, and his health restored, what will Johnny Depp truly be remembered for? The enduring legacy of an icon. Johnny Depp's legacy in 2025 is not just about fame. It's about transformation. With more than $10 billion in box office revenue, he's one of the most successful actors of all time. His performances, Edward Scissorhands, Captain Jack Sparrow, Sweeney Todd aren't just characters, they're cultural landmarks. Beyond acting, he's left a mark in fashion, music, and even science. A fossil was named after him due to his Scissorhands role, but perhaps his most powerful legacy is his humanity. Through addiction, betrayal, and financial ruin, he has clawed his way back publicly, painfully, and completely. Johnny Depp's story is proof that even in the harshest spotlight, there's room for redemption. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about having the courage to rise again. And that is what makes him unforgettable. Johnny Depp's story isn't just about fame, it's about falling hard and rising even harder. If you were inspired by his transformation, hit subscribe to Top 10 Go here, and tell us whose legacy you want uncovered next.